What's up, everybody? Want to talk about this Fundora versus Keith Thurman fight coming up. Fundora's 27, Keith Thurman was 36. I didn't really do the analysis that I normally do on this, so I might come back with another video and change some things. But from what I gather, from what I watched right now, and from what I know of Thurman, Thurman is 36, but he's not shot-born, meaning he hasn't been beat up, he hasn't been knocked out. What does he have, one loss? I have no notes in front of me. But I did look at the Pacquiao fight for like 4 or 5 years ago. He did get flash knocked down by Pac. Pac is just an extraordinary specimen where he could be 40 years old and give any younger fighter a difficult time. But Keith Thurman, it was really close if you look at that fight. And the knockdown, unfortunately for Keith Thurman, set him back with the judging and everything like that. But I looked at Fundora. I saw him a couple of years ago, like a year or two ago. I did watch that. I forget where I saw it. I saw him get knocked out. So I looked at his fight with you want to know the truth? I'll just tell you what I think. By the way, if you're here for the first time, I predict fights sometimes, talk about boxing. I write a lot, more than wrong. Recently picked Crawford to do exactly what he did in the ring. But anyway, Fundora is not a pound for pound great legend. It's not happening. I'm sorry if you're a Fundora fan. I'm just talking, from my boxing IQ, only sport I watch. I know nothing about any other sports except UFC a little bit. But really, I see this guy standing straight up with Tim Tszyu wasn't his dad. Tim Tszyu wasn't that great. I'm sorry, he just wasn't. Fundora knocked out brutally already. That was such a devastating shot that took years off his career. I'm telling you, I've watched boxing a long time. It took a lot out of him. He fights. He needs to be fixed. And when I say he needs to be fixed, he stands straight up. His neck is straight. Guys, his neck is straight up. His neck is straight up. He has an awful style. Because he's so tall, he gets away with it. He gets away with this standing straight up and his neck's out. Almost like Nazim Hamed. Remember Naz? He was fun to watch. Hamed versus Kelly. Go back, watch it at the Garden. Really good fight. But anyway, so what I'm saying is, Keith Thurman at 36, where on paper as, I don't know who the favorite is. I don't know what anyone's saying. I'm not watching any predictions. Again, I'm not parroting anybody. I'm just coming from me, from a boxing fan, from what I watched of them so far. What I know of Thurman, because I watched him throughout his career. He's got good footwork, really good all-around, well-rounded fighter, former champion. And if Fundora, they're trying to pump his resume and they think this is going to be easy, this is a big, risky move. This is something where Keith Thurman just might get a title again. I mean, all Keith Thurman has to do is stick to the basics and shoot straight up. Hard to train for because he's so tall. What is it, southpaw, right? Fundora is really tall, they'd say back in the day, very unorthodox fighter. There was a guy, Juan Koji, really hard to train for, a very unpredictable fighter. I think he was Argentinian. From Argentina. I used to watch him back in the day on the Don King undercards when I was a kid. And my dad and I would always talk about how fun he was to watch because it was hard to train for it. He just did weird stuff in the ring. But like a Hamed. But this guy's so tall, and it's like he gets away with standing up. I just see a guy that's ready to be knocked out again. He's already been damaged. That knockout was brutal. That type of knockout destroys careers long term. He needs to get his training. Fundora, if your people are watching this, they need to get on a trainer and have him utilize head movement. Even though a lot of these smaller guys are not connecting up there, he got relaxed. Seems like he got used to it, and then he fights small a lot. So he goes in and he just gives up so much. His style is entirely wrong, but it makes it exciting for the fans. For his height, his reach, it's all wrong. And I think, from what I see right now, if Thurman has his speed and he even comes showing up like when he fought Pacquiao and he lost a close decision and he was knocked out with a flash knockdown, Thurman should knock him out. I don't see how he doesn't not knock this guy out. Stick to the basics. Thurman, head movement, footwork, if it's there at 36, it could be done. We've seen it with Crawford. Everybody's different. Everybody's boxing clock is different. But Thurman, he does take a lot of shots over the career, but it's not like a shot-borne punishment or he's been knocked out a lot. I think this is a moment here that I would be really excited if I was Keith Thurman and his people. Keith Thurman should go for an early knockout on this guy. The guy stands straight up. From here up, his head is just, he's going all over the place, but the neck and head is straight up. This is what I'm seeing. You want to know what I think? I think that any superior fighter to Fundora is gonna knock him out. If not, just to win on the cards. I mean, I don't see greatness. I mean, look at the video where he got knocked out already. You know, I mean, you can't hold that against a fighter. You could say that. Pacquiao was dropped face first against Marquez, but he recovered. But this was different. And the way his head hit the canvas, I didn't like any of it. And that's a devastating, that takes a toll on one's psyche and one's body. Keith Thurman has to plant psychological doubt by landing on his chin and make him revisit the night he was knocked out again. Now, Keith Thurman was never knocked out like that, so he has that edge. Psychologically, you talk about physically, okay, he's 36, so there's a lot of variables. I just started reading something about Keith Thurman, I don't know when, something about injuries. I don't know his situation health-wise going into the fight. I don't know if he just had a rotator cuff injury. I didn't do all the what I do normally with fighters and really overlook stuff. But then a lot of fighters go into the ring with past surgeries and stuff like this. I believe Floyd with his hands were brittle. He had some surgeries, but he performed amazingly, obviously, and it helped form Floyd's style of hit and not be hit and not sit on his punches so much. Floyd, believe me, if he didn't have those brittle hands, he would have been knocking a lot more people out. But he was so smart and knew how to preserve his body, and that's why he avoided getting headshots, obviously, and didn't get into wars. But Keith Thurman is one of these fighters, like, he's well-rounded. He does, like, everything just enough right, or he could be a world champion and win a lot of fights. So at 36, I think from what I've seen already, and like I said, I'm going to go back. I got to do more. I'm going to do more videos on this. Could be wrong, of course. I just think this Fundora kid is just like, the neck, he's got issues. It has to be fixed. It's an awful style. The styles make fights. Very tall, like I said, Keith Thurman is cagey enough. I'm sure he's got some tall sparring partners, but it's going to be hard to replicate this guy. He's tall enough to be a heavyweight. It's crazy. He's going to have to shoot straight. He's going to have to use all those basic boxing essentials and do what Keith Thurman has done to get to where he's at right now. And at 36, I don't know how, like I said, his boxing clock, but it looks a lot fresher than other fighters that have been knocked out. And the way Fundora was knocked out, it was a brutal knockout. I got to keep bringing it up. It was so brutal that I think it took years off of him and his fight clock. Like, if he had a different style, would use his reach and just do boxing and stay on the outside and not have these wars like with Zoo. And Zoo wasn't that great. I just saw the last fight when he retained the title. I saw the second just highlight. I'm like, wow, this guy just doesn't move his head that much. It's going to be problematic for him, and I think that Keith Thurman is going to knock him out probably, and he should, if he comes correct and he comes in at the, health-wise. If he turns 50 that night, then whatever. Some fighters get in the ring and that night it's over. What was that guy's name? Chocolatito. That was the guy. He came in one night, he looked spectacular, amazing boxer, and all of a sudden one night he just lost. It just got old. So it's very interesting. Now, if anyone out there saying this is a 50-50 fight, I hate when people say that. There's no such thing as that. That's a big cop-out. 50-50 fight. And in my opinion, either you could see it or you don't see it. It's, like with Crawford, Canelo, people had no idea what the hell they were talking about. That fight was pretty obvious to me because I watched Crawford every fight he ever had. I watched Canelo like 95% of his fights. I knew what I was dealing with. With this, not so much. I got to go back and look more at, I like to see more of Fundora. If he's keeping his neck up, which looked like, because he did it in one of his last fights for so long, and there was really no head movement, no rocking and rolling and dipping and ducking and dodging it. I mean, he has a bad habit leaning forward. I didn't like what I was watching. I was like, wow, Keith Thurman and his trainers and his people, they should be damn excited. He should be able to clean this kid's clock. Even at 36, if he slowed up a little and just start hammering that chin. I just go great for the chin. Get some body shots in there because it dropped the hands, but Thurman has a really good chance at knocking this guy out. That's what I'm seeing. If you want the truth, like I said, Tim Tszyu wasn't all that. This guy doesn't impress me. The only thing that's impressive is the height, and again, it's probably fooling a lot of people. Again, this guy's never going to be, like I said with Adrian Broner early, a pound for pound legend. This guy's gonna get brutally knocked out again. It's gonna happen. Just wait and watch. It's not what I'm seeing in the hype for this fight. Anyway, I'm out. I'll see you in the next one.